Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mark and Andre Show, episode 69. Insert provocative show title here. And here's your hosts, Mark and Andre.
How beautiful love can be on the streets. Love is hard to see. Yeah, it's a place I got to.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another great episode of the Mark and Andre Show. I'm your host, Mark Flores. My co-host, founder of Lyricology 101, is none other than Andre Gaynor.
I'm Andre.
Andre, how are you doing today?
I'm Andre, man. You know how it is. Just Andre ended up doing the Andre thing. You know how it goes.
He's been trying for the last couple of weeks to make Andre a verb, pronoun, an action.
An action adjective.
Double action adjective. Tonight's topics on the Mark and Andre Show. Social media in the 2000s. Movie theater pet peeves. Wrestling's in the news, but for all the wrong reasons. The fate of cable television. Mm-hmm. And then one personal segment that I'm going to save for the very end here on the Mark and Andre Show. The only film, entertainment, and conspiracy theory podcast on Spreaker.com.
To our knowledge.
I'd like to be called... I think I've made a trademark. Or I'd like to file for a trademark. I'm not telling you because you're not like the guy who does trademarks.
Yeah, I used to.
But I want to be called... Rialto's favorite son, Mark Flores.
Rialto's favorite son, Mark Flores.
Because Kurt Frog, the guy from Legends of the Hidden Temple, who is a Rialto native, didn't coin that.
He should have got on that.
He should have.
How could he have lagged so long?
Jeff Conine, a Rialto native. I think he was born in Rialto. Ronnie Lott went to Eisenhower.
Okay.
So he's a Hall of Fame NFL football player, and a couple other people.
Ice Cube, born and raised.
Ice Cube probably did not. He probably passed by Rialto once on the 10 freeway to get to Fantasy Springs to do his concerts. Every time he needs... You know what? Every time a successful artist needs a quick buck, they'll go to the stretches of the desert casinos. They'll go to Morongo.
They'll go to or sometimes Fox Theater in Pomona.
Lionel Richie's performing tonight here at Fantasy Springs.
Mary J. Blige.
Again. How's your week been?
Oh, dude, just it's been cool. I told you earlier, they played me on YouTube with the video I had spent all that time working on last week for getting copyrighted. So I got copyrighted on my newest Lyricology video, and I had to make a new one. It's a lot of hours gone. Over 30 plus hours, just whoosh.
I think you'll have to... Is there any room to dispute it?
There is. So I'm going to have to drive... I have to personally drive out to the YouTube facility and then specifically meet up with one of the PR reps. And then from that point forward, we have to negotiate contracts and all this other stuff just so I can get the video up. So, and they say it's about a 40-day process. So starting from today... pretty much getting everything set in order, but I got to pay a lawyer to even get the copyright removed, and then I also have to personally meet with Kendrick Lamar. So that's what I'm waiting on. And
he's standing in judge attire with the powdered wig and everything.
And he is, and the thing that sucks is I have to pay for his appearance as well, and he's charging for the usual concert appearance.
Oh, you might as well get a concert out of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. So I hope I can get a performance or two. Preferably from all of his old material, nothing new. Even though I really like his new stuff, I just don't feel like I'd really enjoy it the same way if it was in front of me. So I want the old stuff performed. And I kind of, at this point, I don't even want to do the copyright stuff. This is just a huge ploy for me to watch him live.
Just watch him live.
Watch him live with no music. No.
You're all like, you just came to watch me live, huh?
Yep. Now give me all the acapella joints you got. So, but no, in all seriousness, I probably just have to... I'm going to pick a new song, and I already did. I'm already halfway through it. The problem is, I guess, it was the popularity of this specific song. Yeah. I think it was so popular that hundreds of people were just trying to find ways to upload the song, and they shut me down, too.
Make sure you guys tune in to Lyricology 101, where Andre Gaynor breaks down various rap songs in great detail. Mm-hmm. You're a pioneer in that, right?
Yeah. And so far, it's so good. A lot of people... are catching wind and stealing it, and I think that's actually a really good thing.
For another additional commercial that we have here on the Mark and Andre Show, I want to encourage you guys to go to the Game Swappers Bar Arcade tomorrow night at the Finish Line Sports Bar and Grill, Or if you don't like bar arcades. Oh, no, it's actually...
It's the barricade.
Yeah, bar arcade.
No, it's the barricade.
I was about to say the word we can't say.
No, it's a barricade. So
The
it's just a
barricade.
huge block, and it's really hard
I'm
to
here
get
for
around.
the barricade. I want to get trapped in something. And then the following day, this Sunday, Memorial Day, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's Monday. But this Sunday, feel free to go to Retro Respect, where we sell various items from video games to me. I'm going to have a bunch of Laserdisc movies that I have to move. So Retro Respect is where 30-plus vendors come to buy, sell, and trade various video games, nostalgic items from the younger years. That's about it. It's only all that's going to be held at the Finish Line Sports Bar and Grill, both events, the bar arcade and Retro Respect. So make sure you guys head up there. Game Swappers, buy, sell, and trade.
Wait, so Game Swappers is buy, sell, and trade? Is that the name of the person, or?
No, they just want to let you know that they are buy, and they also like selling and trading games. The entity,
Buy, sell, and trade.
the entity of the business itself is bisexual. Stupid. Jeez, why do people listen to our fucking show? Social media in the 2000s.
Yes.
I think you and I, when we were younger, were born at the right time for social media in the 2000s.
Yeah, we were we were alive young enough to watch the takeover.
Chat rooms. It started with chat rooms. And I was barely starting out in the chat rooms. That's where I got my start with the whole...
Your first taste.
Just chatting with everyone here and there. My dad actually brought it to light when he used to go to baseball chat rooms and just debate. He used to just go at it.
Just finding random...
Yeah, like I
Try
think
me,
he was one
bitch.
of the first keyboard warriors.
Oh, cool.
But then it started with California Youth's chat rooms in AOL or like MSN chat. Which chat rooms did you use?
I never used a chat room.
Ever?
Never.
You gotta be kidding me.
I swear to God, I've never used a chat room. The closest thing I got to a chat room was MySpace.
Oh,
MySpace
shit.
was my first taste of some type of social media.
Really?
Yeah.
So then, because of me, that's where it all got going. Like, I remember I used to sneak, when I didn't have internet at the house, I used to go to the public library, and you can only log in for an hour at a time. And keep in mind, the Rialto Public Library isn't a pristine library at all. It's
just holding on.
This is your typical degenerates, your lowlifes, the lowest of the lows, like humans that can share the same company as shrimps and algae.
Yeah.
These guys are like, oh, can't use a computer for an hour, and then they get caught looking up porn. I was not that far away from them because I was on chat rooms just chatting away. And
then you feel a slight rumbling at your table, and you're like, wait, what's going on next to me? And you got a fella handling business.
Since the initiation of MySpace, Facebooks, and chat rooms, it's been easier to connect with one another. We've been doing it ever since the new millennium, and it's pretty cool. I mean, even with the startup of how MySpace started. When MySpace started, dial-up was still booming.
Right.
We still had our 7.0. We still had our 1,000 hours of free AOL internet. We were on that, and it was hard. It was hard trying to be a successful MySpacer with dial-up.
Right. Because you can't even load the graphics up that came with it. And this was... It's funny because it was just new. It was still new, so a lot of that shit was still trying to figure itself out. Like, a web page was not what we see today at all.
Exactly.
It wasn't even close.
With that being said, it was a lot harder to get data across as well. I mean, say if you were going back and forth on a message and someone just opens up the phone and leaves it hanging so the internet gets disconnected, playing you out, man.
Right.
That could be the game killer.
I just remember the process of signing on was too fucking long. Just signing up on the internet itself was long. And then, I don't know, I feel like if we were to go back in time and really try to use internet back then, we would be furious because
at the loading speeds,
that slow loading that we experienced back then is totally different now. It's totally different. It's a completely different animal. So our idea of slow back then is nothing compared to what we think slow is now. Like, we might, who knows, it might take up to 50 seconds for a page to load back then. And we were just cool with that. Nowadays, everything's instant. So I could definitely see a huge, huge difference, especially back then. Yeah, trying to chat with somebody, hell nah.
It actually made it a lot easier for you and I could probably say share the same hand in this, where it was helping us be more successful out in the dating world. You know, to where, like how we were arguing that one time with our friend, where we were saying that it was a lot harder back in early 1990s, where you would have to have a pen and a paper to then call some other day.
Yeah.
And hoping, there's too many variables at that point.
Right.
Once I start thinking about how many variables it took, like how many variables there are when it comes to trying to get to know a girl, like you just randomly met.
Yeah.
There's so many factors. Like you have to call her at a certain day. Did she give you the right number?
Right.
What's
Is this a house number or a cell number?
Like, what's going on? Like, there's too many. I give so many props to the players of the 80s and 90s because
it was a totally different game back then.
It had to have been, man. Like, it's something I can't fathom.
Right. You have to be the most immediately charming and interesting person right off the bat, and then also have to balance all these little factors.
Yeah.
But with social media, it was like everything was given to you. You could see
the figuring out process was
quicker.
Taken care of.
Yeah, it was quicker. Oh, okay. These are because they had stupid surveys. What's your favorite thing? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite this? This is what you do. This they used to do those little things on MySpace.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's all the information I need. I got everything I want. I got a bunch of pictures of you. I see what your environment's like. I see who you hang with.
I have a cheat sheet.
Yeah, I have an idea. I know what to do. And from that point forward, I know exactly what to say. I know how to talk to you. And then if you hit me with a hook, like ask me a question, or if I ask you something and you weren't ready for it, I got a backup ready to go. Like if I offended you, I got a backup ready to go. Like everything was like almost prepared. Everything was preset.
You got your routes, and then you got your audible set just in case you need a.
Yeah, it was basically
B.
setting up. It was perfect to set up. Like the social media was a perfect way to set myself up before I played the game. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I know exactly how to approach her. I know what kind of humor to use. I know everything. And then if I do fail, it's like it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And I usually didn't fail, so that was pretty cool. But it was a different beast. Plus, since it was so new, there was just a level of trust. Also, catfishing wasn't really
before
a big
people
deal.
got wise to it and started making fake profiles.
Yeah.
You would go into a profile thinking it's authentic no matter what.
Right. So because that wasn't even an idea yet. Nobody had time.
There was no evil yet in the MySpace world. Everything was so pure and innocent.
It was a utopia.
It was a
beautiful utopia. And everything's just different. It's hilarious.
For those tuning in live here on the Mark and Andre Show, feel free to insert yourselves in the chat room. How appropriate I say insert yourselves here on episode 69 of the Mark and Andre Show. Feel free to insert yourselves deep into the annals of our show here on the Mark and Andre Show, talking about social media in the early 2000s, how easy it was to be anyone you wanted, essentially, because you could make a fake Marty McFly profile. You could make a fake Vin Diesel profile, fresh out of the Fast and the Furious movie, saying, or even, what was it? What was popular back then? Like satire profiles, like Dominic Toretto had a profile.
Yeah.
You could just make anything up.
And they still do that today, but back then it was like, it was just funny.
Now it's Twitter. Now it's like fake people with Twitter.
And YouTube disturbs me, because it's like, Jackie Chan says this. You're not fucking Jackie Chan at all. Like, why would Jackie Chan comment on this Mario Brothers video?
Jackie Chan doesn't like Space Jam. I know that for a fact.
I don't understand. So nowadays, it's actually creepier. Like back then, it was kind of a novelty joke type of thing. Like, oh, he's pretending to be, Joan of Arc or something weird. Like, okay, that's funny.
Damn.
But nowadays, like, somebody will literally answer questions as if they're really that person. And it's like, what is the purpose of this? To troll people? To bait them? Like, what the hell? What's wrong with you?
When people start trolling, that's when you know. I don't know. I never came to that level where I'm just leaving things out there for someone to just like lash out.
Yeah, to bait. Oh yeah, like hundreds and hundreds of people watch this video, and it's like a beautiful puppy playing with a cat or something. Yeah. And some guy goes, "I want to see him get raped," and for no reason, just to throw that in there to stir up the pot of happiness. Then you got a gang of people fighting for no reason. I don't. Basically, what we're explaining, guys, is it's like an evolution. Social media itself has evolved, and it's like social media almost wasn't taken serious. And there was a small group. And then as time went forward, social media became social life.
Exactly. It
replaced
actually
social life.
it actually became an integral part of how we go about life. I mean, we went from taking MySpace as something as like a secondary
Yeah.
to now it's people can get fired for posting shit
On Facebook.
on Facebook. People can get caught up on Facebook.
And people can get caught up and fired from their jobs for still having a MySpace account.
I think you should get fired if you still have an exist. If you're active on
If
MySpace,
you're active on MySpace, then
you are full of criminal activity. Book
That's
that.
where all the drug deals are being done. It's just on MySpace.
Yeah, this is the avenue for Bitcoin, man. MySpace is alive here with the drug dealers.
I might actually fuck with MySpace.
Detroit
out of
loves
curiosity.
MySpace.
Out of curiosity, I might go back to MySpace to see if there are users. If there are users on MySpace, like using it like a real social media site, there might be something interesting going on over there.
What I think, you know what? I think the only time where that's going to be allowed is if a country is a decade late.
Okay.
Like if Lithuania has MySpace popping right now, I'm not gonna hate on that.
Right.
I'm gonna be like, you
It's
know
like,
what?
you guys
are probably
keep it
still
up.
bumping out. You guys are probably still bumping Speaker Box "The Love Below" by Outkast. I don't blame you. That's a good album. So
Yin
go
Yang
with the
Twins.
process. And we'll get you up to speed once the timing's right.
Right. So, I mean, it's just a different animal. Everything is different. That's funny. I want to check out MySpace now.
What good memories do you have from your early MySpace days?
Just I don't know. I personally like the customizing.
Yeah.
So I always I think every maybe few weeks I would customize everything and just redo the whole page and all that extra shit. But yeah, it was a lot of females. It was female
That too,
stuff.
yeah.
It was
you know what?
the follow it was ass. That's what it was. The best part of MySpace was ass.
Yeah.
And it was
Connecting with people, connecting with specifically the opposite sex.
yeah.
That was the most appealing thing to me at that point because we 08, 20, about 2021 at that time.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect timing. It's perfect timing for a guy ready and willing to date out in the world, so.
It's funny because I hopped onto Facebook really early. I was on Facebook when you had to have a college account to even use it.
Oh, shit.
So
you were kicking it with fucking Zuckerberg, huh?
it was weird. It was because Facebook was such a small niche thing.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be what it is today. So, I remember you couldn't even, I had to get my email from school. I had to get it.
Oh, to get it approved on that end.
And then I got it approved at Facebook, and then all the people that were in the local colleges were all using it. So it was like the safe haven, and it was a totally different world.
Yeah,
so it was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. And it was to me back then, that was when it was the most fun. Because it was like, no one else is going to get in my business but the people at
in this
these
college
colleges.
network.
Yeah, so, I wasn't worried about moms and friends, other people,
Yeah.
checking out my shit. It was very exclusive. That's what made it fun. It was
Yeah,
like, this is our world.
If you had to have your college email linked up to Facebook now as of current, you would probably have about 20% of the actual users on Facebook now.
Yeah.
Even what was I gonna mention? But that's crazy. Yeah, that's exactly how you the way you brought it up is that it started in its infancy like that, and now it's grown to be this.
It is society. That's how I see it.
It is a part of everyday life.
I mean,
To some.
Facebook is almost technically the center of the internet because any site you try to sign up to now has a Facebook automatic sign-in.
That's
nuts.
pretty suspicious.
That's nuts. So if you're signing up to a new site, you get about 3 options nowadays. If you're on a new site, they'll go because they know people hate filling out information. So it's like just link to your Facebook, and then you click that one button. You click one more button, you're done. You're signed in for good.
Yeah.
That's just Facebook
So connectivity.
flexing on everything.
It's funny. The people at the GT podcast actually thought Facebook was pronounced Fosbook, and they thought it was a fan forum for Michael Fassbender.
Oh, it was. Okay, so it initially started
before college. I guess it was
before
a
college,
young
it was-
Michael Fassbender fan forum.
Yeah, that's how I found it. So I initially was, just looking for more Foz information and, looking for, what is the Foz doing right now?
Yeah.
What is he eating today? So I was just looking for a site and there's Fozbook and I was like, oh, all right. First of all, that's a weird way to spell it.
Fosbook. Shout out to Michael Fossbender, and shout out to the good people at the GT Podcast. Feel free to follow them.
The good and bad people.
Yeah, exactly. The fucking scumbags. Slick and Adrian. I love you guys so much. The bad memories from social media, I could tell you plenty. Boy, that was... I've gotten catfish a couple times.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, no, actually, you know what? I didn't get catfish. It was a lot bigger than that. I've actually been shamu'd.
Okay.
Keiko'd. Sea lioned. I've been sea lioned before. So yeah, there's been...
Orangutan? Orangutan?
The general rule is that any over the shoulder, like anything above the shoulder and that's it, you can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Jersey Shore guys said that it was like a grenade or something, something of that nature. Grenade, no grenades, bro. But that's the
angles.
general route.
Angles were also a deception.
Freaking angles.
Angles. If I figured them out though. I mean, now in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, you gotta.
You gotta line up the constellation to the way her figure looks.
Protractor. You have to have a protractor and make sure, like. All right, if it's at like 57 degrees, they're overweight. Like if it's like 32 degrees, they're socially unacceptable. They're crazy. They don't fuck with them. And if it's just completely sideways, like there's no angle at all, it's just completely like it's obviously a vertical picture turned horizontal. You gotta fuck that. You got it. She's
an Inception
down.
photo. Huh?
But no,
there was some shitty Photoshop jobs being done back then too.
Oh yeah, because everything was fresh and new, man. Nobody was an expert at technology yet.
Oh yeah, they knew HTML. Of course, they were geniuses. They knew HTML.
But I don't know. Yeah, so you got catfished often.
Yes, I can proudly admit that.
Catfished by fat chicks.
Something of that nature. Yeah.
And Daniel Radcliffe.
You know what? I would actually, if a girl catfish me only to be Daniel Radcliffe, I'm like, look, dude, we can be friends and we can hang out. You can grab a beer or something, but
that's as far as this is gonna go.
You know what? Let me backtrack. I'd rather find out that I'm being catfished by a guy that's cool, like a friend, than being catfished by something I expected as in a photo to having my expectations are not there.
Right. You know, you'd be cool if it was like...
If it was like, hey, man, I catfished you, but I'm just looking for a homie,
I'm just looking for a homie, man. It's nothing gay, man. You want to just kick it? Like,
yeah.
I mean, you like video games? Of course I do. Then there you go, friendship. How'd you meet him? He catfished me. How'd you meet your buddy?
Can you imagine that?
It's a long, complicated story.
How'd you meet the co-host of the Mark and Andre? Hey, well, Andre catfished me a while back.
And just breeze over it. Don't explain shit from there. He catfished me, and then we got cool.
That's when you catch them mid-drink, and they're like, wait, what? They put the drink down. We want to thank you guys for tuning into the Mark and Andre Show, the only film entertainment conspiracy theory podcast on Spreaker.com. We're talking about social media in the 2000s, asking all the good, the bad, and the ugly of social media in the 2000s. We're talking the MySpace, the Michael Foss books, your AOL chats, MSN chats, and everything of that nature. Mm-hmm. One thing I want to leave you guys with is that from how it started almost working on a decade and a half ago, with social media, it only took 15 years for it to be part of our lives, like
fully integrated.
Yeah, fully integrated is what I meant to say. For you to be fully immersed now for you to look at it as a first thing you do in the morning or as something very important to you, mm-hmm. It's become a part of your life.
Right.
Whereas back then, like I had to find a little bit of time away to actually access it. Mm-hmm. As soon as DSL internet came into the play, mm-hmm. It was nuts. It's pretty much game over at that point. I was like, wait, you have MySpace access 24/7? Mm-hmm. And then that refresh button. You leave your page on and refresh it. You're all set. Thank the Lord for MySpace. Uh-huh.
Things were a lot slower back then too, So things were a lot more natural. That's why it was easier to have a conversation with someone. But now we're at the point where everything's been done. Like I can't holler at a female the same way I would back in the day. Back in the day, I'd be like, hey, what's up? I just saw your picture. I think you're cool. Like, and then actually have a conversation from that point forward. Yeah. Now it's like, I don't know. What's the approach nowadays? Just start
it's with more suspicious.
Yeah. It's like, who are you for real?
Yeah.
It's like, why are you talking to me?
You have to have a private eye investigate.
Right.
That's the norm now.
There is a sense of there's too many people online now, so everybody's questionable.
Yeah.
Back then, it was like, I fuck with these people. They're around my age. But at our age now, we have crazier people, far more people. We got more liars. So it's really hard.
Everyone's suspect.
Everybody's suspect. And motherfuckers will catfish on a whole new level. They'll catfish with a Facebook account and an Instagram account and a Twitter and a Snapchat. Like, how are you doing that with somebody else's life?
And someone else's
How
life.
did you get Snapchat involved in someone else's life?
Let's talk about real quick. I'm going to mention a few jobs that are almost and completely, some are completely obsolete now due to social media. Some private investigators have no jobs because people are their own private investigators.
They have they already have sites that do the work for you.
Newspaper dating advertisements.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
People used to look in the newspaper to go and see if they could find a date.
And there was some success.
Oh yeah, like back in the day, I used to buy the Daily Bulletin, the Sun, the New York Times.
Get pussy for days.
Another thing that's completely obsolete now is dating videos, where you would record your dating advertisement, and
those are great embarrassments.
Yes. Oh man, if you guys want to have a good time and have 10 minutes to go, feel free to look up 80s dating videos. You'll look up some guy named, he was like, I remember the video to his was like, "Hi, my name is Jim, but to all you ladies out there, you can call me Big Jim." Oh no, he's like, "All my friends call me Big Jim." I was like, "What the fuck are your friends calling you that for, man? How did they find out? What do they know?" We're here on the Mark and Andre Show, and you know what? We are going to take a quick commercial break. Feel free to listen to the good sounds of whatever the hell I'm playing now on the Mark and Andre Show. Now I have to make sure to research. I have to make sure to research these songs before I put them up. I actually have my NFL playlist ready and up. It was the third quarter. Dun, 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 dun.
2 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, so that video is not going to be on YouTube. We're going to get what's that? I hope we don't get a strike on that. You're listening to the Mark and Andre Show, the only film, entertainment, conspiracy theory podcast on Spreaker.com. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode 69. Insert provocative title here. I don't think we'd make it past 69 episodes.
I thought this would be it.
The series finale?
The series finale, 69.
We haven't even got done with season 1
the whole time.
Season 1's not even done.
Yeah, it's an infinite season.
Well, I don't think everyone's going to be ready for the Blu-ray release of season 1 of the Mark and Andre Show.
All the deleted scenes.
All
the conversations you didn't hear. The conversations they didn't want you to see, or whatever the fuck. Exclusive, unrated content. And it's just us, like, not saying anything.
Just drinking coffee and drinking beer.
Burps, a couple burps here and there.
Witness the crazy beginning.
Hear the sounds of the bottles that they don't want you to hear. And you just hear clinking of those
Watch
movers.
Mark go to the recycling center. All this lame crap. So, by now, for you guys listening into 69 episodes, around the 20 to 40 episode mark is when we started doing movie reviews. Mm-hmm. And we started going to the movie theaters a lot, and we started noticing these things and be going a lot. Crap. There's just some of these things that just really irritated me, irritated Andre, and we're here to talk to you about them. We're talking movie pet peeves, and the one I want to get first off the ground before I spitball this back to Andre is every time a trailer ends, there's a brief pause, and then you hear some guy's 2 cents on a trailer. Mm-hmm. Whack. This shit was whack. Or like some stupid shit. Gay.
Some immature utterance in the distance. Yeah, I it's funny because Dane Cook had a little bit that was based on that. And the concept is like, and I observed this too, it's like the trailer ends and leaves you with about 10 seconds of silence.
Yeah.
And that 10 seconds of silence is pretty awkward if you think about it. And I'm not going off the Dane Cook's thing anymore, but I personally think, that 10-second gap gives you the opportunity to receive what you just watched. But some people don't keep that dialogue inside of themselves. They decide to scream some shit.
Yeah.
They make a stupid noise, or they use that silence as a chance to tell a joke. When we were younger, we used to be a problem in theaters. So when we were younger, that was the time we were like, we'd have something ready to go.
I want to blame Jonathan Ford for all of that.
Oh yeah, he can definitely take that.
We were in the fire lane on Dance Movie. We were in the middle. Yeah, in Dance Flick. We were in the middle of the fire lane, just down the aisle, just watching a movie.
Right.
Because all the seats are taken up. We decided to sit in the fire lane.
Right.
Oh man,
and it just
constant talking,
pissing people off.
I would imagine so, but the thing is that when you and I are in the theater with John, who's about 6'4", 250,
right?
He looks huge, but he's like
intimidating.
He looks intimidating because he always, like back then, he used to always wear a do-rag,
right?
And do-rag and some sweats and some fucking Nikes. John, you had some questionable attire, but it made him look like a thug,
right?
And no one was going to fuck with us at that point.
Right.
So it was kind of like a blessing and a curse because he would look intimidating. No one's going to mess with us.
Right.
But then he would say some dumb shit. And he would say, and the way he talks doesn't reflect how he looks.
Right.
There's fucking a whole slew of contradictions with him. But
and we were, kind of pushing that boundary. It's like, if I had to deal with younger us in my theater, I'd fucking kill all of us. But even, here's how I saw it.
Yeah.
We were actually funny back then. We were really funny back then. What we would say or do made everyone in the theater laugh. So it wasn't really like we were annoying, but it seems like everybody's trying to do something nowadays. So in that small little gap of time to go back, it's like that moment somebody has to say something.
Yeah.
It's almost predictable, right? We'll watch something, we'll see the trailer looks really dumb, and that silence kicks in, and we both look at each other like someone's going to say some shit, and then somebody says something. Oh, I want to see The Rock! Like, dumb shit in the distance. And it's not necessarily funny. It's not even funny within the group of people that they're with. It's just that person by themselves trying to get some reaction out of everybody in the room.
The other pet peeve that I had and wanted to mention too was this one random time. I think we were watching Logan. Yeah. And there was this homeless person outside of the box office. And the box office is outside of the theater. So in order for you to come in, you pretty much need a ticket because the guys are at the guest services are in front of the theater entrances. So he's just out there in the front, and I'm like, well, what is this guy doing? He's not begging for money. He's just asking for anything.
He's just looking around, trying to.
10 minutes into Logan, I see that same guy walk in, and homeboy reeks of something fierce, like alcohol, urine, and
everything. Like he slept in all of the things he's indulged in.
He sleeps in all his problems.
Right. So everything that's affecting his life.
Yeah. He was in there, and I'm like,
and he made it in, and we couldn't fathom how he got in because the way the theater was set up, there's no way he could have got in through the front.
And for the sake of description, I want to mention that he's been for the next 10 minutes of Logan. He's walking up and down the aisles.
Right.
He's not. I wouldn't have a problem if he's in there. Fuck it. Okay, he's in. He probably
made
got
it
a ticket.
Good job.
But the thing is that 10 minutes, for a whole 10 minutes, he's walking around the aisle. He goes across the theater and then comes back up again and then probably sits in the back. At the end, I think I was
No, he
the
sits
back.
in the front.
But it's like shit.
He
like,
sits in the front.
suspicious fucking character.
Right. Oh,
Big
it
time.
was it was a bit unnerving to have him, because he walked back and forth like he worked for Hitler and he was checking for Jews. It was really scary because he just was like, "What are you looking for?" There's plenty of empty seats to sit down, so I don't know what you're tripping on. But I do remember him just kind of browsing back and forth and walking around, and I'm like, it wasn't subtle. You know, the film is on, and the way the theater is set up, it wasn't
stadium seating.
Yeah, stadium seating. So it's like we're seeing this fellow basically walk up and down towards us and back. He's seen the whole way through, and that was hugely distracting because we don't know what this fucker's got. He's got a knife or something.
Yeah.
And he was acting like he had a knife. But then what happened? Didn't he come back with a cup? He had a
he
supersized cup somehow.
He came in with a cup that wasn't even a part of the theater.
Right. I don't know how he got in there. It was crazy.
I like that theater though because you're able to get away with free refills.
Yeah.
On drinks that you don't even buy. So
Right.
Shout out to the theater that I'm not going to name.
Right. And one of my other pet peeves as far as just my theater visitation is concerned is like the syringes. Like, how often do you go to a theater and you sit down in your seat and what the fuck?
You've been having a bad streak of that.
Yeah, I think for the past maybe 24 visits, 24 films, I sat on a syringe. And every single time it had something in it.
Oh, so you now have like 24 different, immunities? Debilitation?
I don't know. It could have been diabetes medicine. I know for sure one of them was heroin. But it's just, the syringes are getting a little, especially when I bring them.
Sit on them?
Because I always have them in my back pocket. But I don't think that's affiliated with it. I think it's the theaters.
There's no trade. You got to stop trading syringes with people.
Yeah, because that's all I believe in.
It started with Pokemon cards, and then kids now, millennials, are trading syringes.
Yeah, well, the syringes have special designs. So, I have the Digimon themed syringe. I have
syringe spinners.
Yeah, no, because they work like Pogs. So the way that you do, there's a pile of liquid on the floor, and it's whichever syringe pulls up the most liquid first, and then you measure who has the most liquid. So, but no, this because the syringes, there because it's a game. So whoever wins the most liquid. So the syringes. They're everywhere, man. They're sweeping the nation. They're gonna kill fidget spinners. I promise you. So
fidget spinners, man. They're going to have little syringes on the ends of them.
Oh, yeah. That spit on the outside.
And then you just try to touch the middle of it in between the syringes because you're a badass. That's a good point, though.
Yeah, got to be careful.
Forgive the pun, but that's a good point.
That's a good point. But you got to be careful with your designer syringes. I got the Gucci syringe. I got the New York Knicks syringe.
Oh, that's all the poison you need.
I got the holographic. It's just really, nice casing on the outside of the syringe. It's pretty cool, man. You got to get in on it.
The other pet peeve I have is, I don't know what's going on, but people just don't, when people take a photo of the movie they're watching, and not damned if they even have the cell phone on them.
Right.
But they even take a photo and leave the flash on. Fuck, dude,
First of all, taking the picture's dumb. Second of all, people don't understand how flash works. And I think that's funny as hell. I mean, because I'll escalate it. Damn, I think Louis C.K. had a bit on that. Fuck. But basically, I mean, the light on your phone is only enough to fill maybe a small corner. And that has to be a very dark corner. Mm-hmm. The flash's only purpose is for something on that scale.
Yeah.
It's a stadium-sized room.
Yeah.
And you're trying to use the flash to illuminate the entire room. It's not a strong enough light source, man. Yeah. Especially then you're dumb enough to take a picture on the darkest frame. So I don't get why people do that. I don't get why people snap that shit. They'll snap certain parts of a film.
Dude,
Ricky dies. A very specific spoil. Ricky dies, and then they fucking
spoiling on social media has already pissed me off too many times.
But do you understand the type of mentality you got to have to hold that means your camera mode is ready. You have your snap open, waiting for some interesting shit to happen to pull it out and record it.
Yeah, and it's not even. I don't care any less if you're doing it, but the thing is that you're taking yourself out of the movie. Mm-hmm. You're now watching from a screen that's not bigger than the movie screen, and you're gonna have to. It takes a while for you to get deep into a movie to completely forget everything around, because there comes a time within about 15 minutes into a movie where we you're looking at the chairs in the movie, and then you start just focusing in on the movie.
Right.
That takes a little bit to do. And some of this stuff, some of these pet peeves become a distraction. And for you and I who review movies or actually, give a damn about what we watch, that takes time out of getting back into the immersion. That's the only thing that's what pisses me off, going back to the main topic.
Right. Just, I think we're in a day and age where we are so separated from the experiences we have that they're just going to do that. That's where I am, and that's my understanding. Shout out to our buddy Justin. Justin, he books shows. He books bands all the time, and he's a hippie all day.
Yeah.
And it kills him. He's putting up these amazing shows, and people will stand in front of the band, right in front of the band, and pull out their phone and watch the entire set through the phone.
Yeah.
So, that's just the world we in, but that's just how it goes. That's all entertainment from this point forward, because you see concerts, booked stadium concerts, where motherfuckers are all the way at the top of the rafters, and they're still filming it. Like, that's just where we are, man. That's what it is. But to go back to the theater thing, I completely understand. It affects your experience, because you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, watch the movie,
Because you have to be... It sucks, but you in a movie theater now, ever since what happened with that guy who thought he was the fucking Joker for real and tried to terrorize the whole movie theater in Aurora.
Right.
We have to watch out for shit like that in the theater. Like, we have to watch out for suspicious shit. Something from a flash can be crazy. Something from a homeless dude walking down aisles.
Right.
I have to watch out for that.
Yeah, you don't know if that homeless dude has ninja stars or, some other type of
throwing a ninja
object.
star in the dark.
Right.
Jesus. Don't ever entice ideas like that on a podcast. Fuck.
Actually, that's my new fear now. Damn, a shuriken in the middle of the night, just no sound, no nothing, just.
When I don't know why, but my dad, or just to recap this, because he became a
ninja.
Thing. No, nothing of that sort. But I don't know why my dad did this. But my dad grabs a roll of toilet paper from the bathroom, and at the end of the movie, he fucking flings it down to the stadium seating.
No!
To where this toilet paper goes down, like clean toilet paper, of course. Not to illustrate, but
that'd be way worse.
But it just flows down the aisle seats. It gets in everyone's way, and you could see where that leads.
Yeah.
Unless you do it well, but he didn't do it well at all. And fuck, we had to get ready for something, but luckily nothing. No one got too crazy on that.
Right.
Fuck, dude. That's thinking of that earlier today made me think about pet peeves.
I got you.
Talking more about pet peeves.
Another theater issue that I have is I personally don't like premieres. I don't think I'll ever do, especially for a big franchise. And I know the premiere, like to go to a premiere, it works because you need to get the information in this day and age because they're going to leak it. It's going to be spoiled by the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
So most people want to see it first so they get the experience. You don't have to deal with the hype fucking up the movie or anything of that nature. But going to premieres is like you're sitting in the midst of the true fans. Like the real deal fan, especially if it's a franchise.
That's why I try to get if we ever review a movie together, we try to do it
early.
Thursday.
Yeah, do it Thursday.
Because no one's wise to that yet. Yeah. Everyone still thinks it's Friday now.
And then it's going to move to Wednesday, and then it's Tuesday, Monday, then Sunday, all the way back around.
To a week before
the
released.
movie even comes out. But yeah, it's I don't know, man. That really irks me. I remember specifically going to the last Twilight movie. I went to the last Twilight on the premiere weekend with a Twihard, and it was a nightmare. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't mind the Twilight series. I won't say I love it, but it's not as bad as people are joking it to be.
Yeah.
It's like the movies do their thing.
Yeah.
So this film, it was just like no matter what the fuck happened, the entire building erupted. And it was to the point where it's like, I can't even hear anybody talking anymore. Like, Edward walks in.
It's like Married with Children in the theater.
Yes, but imagine, because how Married with Children, every joke, they're whoop, 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 doing all this extra shit. It's still in the background. Imagine being in it.
Yeah,
like,
forefront,
dead center. And imagine instead of whoop, 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 it's literal screams. High-pitched, like, Beatles concert screaming. And I'm sitting here, you know, with my homegirl and my other homegirl, and I'm just like, I don't know why I'm here anymore. And then, you know, this was the last of the series.
Yeah.
And they had this big ass X-Men action scene that was actually really fucking awesome, right? Crazy action scene. It was like the most action I've seen from the series. It looks like something. It was like all the X-Men characters go to war. Oh, damn. Awesome fight. And suddenly, because you're not going to watch it, nobody gives a fuck. So you guys don't consider this a spoiler if you haven't seen it. I'm sure you have. Basically, you find out this was all a vision in somebody's head.
Wow.
So all this awesome fight scene that went on for like 15 minutes of just crazy fucking action, all of a sudden pulls back out of the main character's eye and goes, see, that will happen if you fuck with us. And then the bad guy goes, okay, never mind, let's leave. And I'm pissed, but everyone in the theater erupted with like all of this praise and it was genius. And like, it was like, people were running up and down the aisles. It was the most exaggerated experience ever. And that was because it was a premiere with the fans. Never will do that again. Never. I'm not going to a Star Wars premiere. I'm not going to any Marvel film premiere. We got to review some of them sometimes, so I know what it's like. But
because we catch them on Thursdays.
Yeah, we catch them early. But if we don't, you know, I'm dreading any other day. Because people will lose their fucking mind in the theater. To the point where, like I said, watching it that first time, I've seen it twice. Yeah. First time I watched it, I didn't even know what was going on.
I think that's where they made their money with people. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it the first time. Everyone was screaming and shit. They had to watch it later in the week.
You gotta watch it again. So
critics say you're gonna have to watch this again. Because it's so fucking loud the first time.
And it ruined my experience. Every premiere that I've gone to that was like, you know, the fan base was present. It's like either you have people shouting, even the Simpsons premiere. I remember the Simpsons movie premiere, people were fucking the jokes up. Or, you know, the Spider Pig. I have never seen an entire building of people react to this dumbass joke. I get it, Spider Pig was funny, but the commercials killed it. And once they saw, you know, the footprints on the roof, the entire room went crazy. Spider Pig, Spider Pig, Spider. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? So, yeah, I guess I don't know if that sounds bitter or, you know, that sounds like an old man complaining about some simple shit. But I'm here for an immersive experience, and if you guys are just pulling me out of the film to the point where I don't even know what's happening in the plot, I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna leave, or I'm just gonna, you know, throw shurikens, just throw them straight up in the air and just run out.
Oh my god!
Just a whole like 2 handfuls, just and then run the fuck out.
Not even skilled, just whatever. Like, fucking,
yeah, they're not even organized perfectly in my hand.
You know,
I'm cutting myself,
spiked up. The next topic I wanted to get to real quick was wrestling's in the news, but for all the wrong reasons. So, a couple with their newborn, I think the baby was about 4 months old, still a newborn, and little infant,
toddler,
little
toddler,
little toddler. The boyfriend decides to Batista bomb the baby, and the baby's dead.
That's not funny.
It's not, and it sucks because you shouldn't be. For a guy, and I say this for all men, for a man to think that it is safe, it is wise to do a move that grown-ass adults do in a professional manner, to think that's safe to do on a little kid, is you are a fucking idiot.
We've seen this
big time. Like, little kids have been trying to do it. That when it started, I remember there was two kids that got in on it. One, the older toddler decided it was a good idea to go nuts on the one that was 2 years younger.
Right.
Died.
Right.
And with this, it's like a guy who we think has common sense. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this to my own baby. I'm gonna powerbomb my own baby.
Right. Right.
Nope. That's a bad idea.
You killed your child, and
sucks,
we've had a number of deaths through wrestling. I personally believe there's probably way more deaths related to wrestling, but they've been kind of hushed. Yeah, no problem with that. But this is just irresponsible. That's all it is. It was irresponsible. Sucks that the toddler had to die. But God. It's like, be careful. And I guess why are you bringing this subject up, to speak on the influence of wrestling or just the immaturity of adults?
It's basically talking about the immaturity of adults.
Okay, so you're not going to give wrestling any flack at all for influencing a grown ass man to go, oh, my child seems perfect for this power bomb.
With me liking wrestling, like even take me.
So
I'm just a fucking geek about wrestling. I'm not going around and like power bombing kids or even doing real moves to people. Like I'll do a worked move.
I'll do fake moves.
Yeah, I'll do a worked like super kick.
Right.
But no one's gonna get hit.
Right.
Because I'm not stupid.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna really fucking kick someone in the face.
Right.
You know, but it's because I have that common sense to say, well, I don't want to hurt anyone, and you know that the trail of thought goes that way.
Right.
With this guy, he's just like, oh, I'm gonna really give this infant, my daughter, a power bomb,
Right.
like, with full effect.
Right.
The end result is that now that we're dealing with the fatality here,
Right.
and it's just not cool, man. Like
Right.
that's just not the business to be talking about.
I mean,
Don't try that shit at home. At all.
Don't try it. Just don't try it.
When I was a little kid in jumpers doing fucking wrestling moves, we were the pros. That's where the pros played. No, we didn't know what we were doing either.
Right,
you
but
know?
even
Like,
in the jumpers, we were fucking ourselves up. I remember
it was safe at least.
I got power bombed in a way to where my knees hit me in the face.
man,
You know?
dude.
Like because it was an older cousin, he slammed
Yeah.
me that hard, my knees buckled and hit me in my mouth and nose. You know,
I remember giving my brother the perfect plex, which is a fisherman suplex, so basically having his knee next to his face, and when I suplexed him, I basically shoved his knee into his nose and made him bleed, but didn't break it. Thankfully, like no great big injuries. Shout out to my little brother Tommy for taking the thousands upon thousands of power bombs I've given him throughout his years.
this segment, speaking on the responsibilities of older people slamming younger people.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess there's a level of maturity that he lacked, and out of all the things you'd want to do something that's not delicate, you did something very undelicate
For the
to
first-
a child, a toddler.
For the first 3 years, a toddler is as delicate as any glass antique.
Right.
Drops it, it's gonna break.
It's gonna
It's
break.
like these things are extremely fragile.
Right,
These
so-
infants.
That's why he should have chose. Don't do that joke.
He should have chose.
It's weird because
to just hold the baby and love it.
Yes,
of course.
cradled it.
I know exactly what you're gonna
Right,
say.
thank you. Because it's just I don't understand why people make certain decisions, man. I'm not gonna call the
Yeah.
guy dumb. I'm not gonna speak down on him. We don't know the true story. I'll play that card too. Maybe it was actually a lot lighter and more tender than even we've been told. Maybe he really did like this soft ass cute little.
Oh,
There you go.
and then she just had a brain aneurysm at the exact same time.
I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Shit,
because
dude.
you know how the media flips shit? The
Yeah.
media can't wait to tell you something horrible. And the media can't wait to glamorize the horribleness. So because
true.
there have been times I played with little kids and I didn't slam them with all the force of my life. It's just like, boom, oh, and they laugh and they giggle, And I don't do it crazy. I
Yeah.
think even I used to babysit my little cousin out in Georgia, and we used to do little cute slams, safe, calm slams, and I
Yeah.
tickle them after I slam them. Keep them laughing, keep them happy, and shut them the fuck up.
yeah.
The only time that I put this child in danger, actually, it wasn't me. Sorry, but I was present, babysitting, and I shouldn't allow this kind of shit to happen. So we're in.
On what? You're on duty?
Yeah, while I'm on duty. So my roommate, he had my little cousin. My cousin, yeah, he was a toddler. My roommate was playing with him, and he was doing slams and stuff like every adult father, I guess, does, or watcher. And he lifted him up really fast above his head to do an interesting slam, and the ceiling fan was at high. But thanks to the grace of God or whatever, he lifted the baby up in a way to where his head tilted down. And the blades were right above his head, but he tilted them perfectly. If he'd never
Just gave him a
tilted,
shave off the top of his hair.
but if he never tilted his hands
Yeah.
the way that he did, it would have just been head straight into a fan.
Wow.
So it's like he picked him up and tilted him and didn't even know he did it. And then once he put him down, he went, "Oh shit, the fan!" And I was like, "Yeah, you almost killed the kid."
I thought you were gonna say that he put him up.
And his head perfectly went between the blades.
Went between the blades.
And he just kept dipping up and down.
I thought he was like, that's agility right there.
And that would have been a miracle as well. But I do remember because the way he lifted him up, we were all laughing, and then I saw the fan, I saw the speed, the momentum. I panicked. He tilted the baby last second. I'm like, oh my God! And then he slams him onto the bed. And I was like, all right, let's get the fuck out of this room and let's stop slamming this kid. But I mean, we weren't even learning our lessons then. And
see, but the thing that breaks us from this situation is that
you know how to be tender with the child.
This isn't. We're dealing with infants here, you know. Like with me and my little brother, it's
the
different
kid was
thing,
a toddler.
you know?
The one I watched, he was a toddler too.
Yeah,
but
crazy.
The thing is, there was a level of gentle that we had, and we weren't dropping them on anything hard. We were just putting them on cushions. We had a big ass couch with fluffy cushions. We just had the cushions ready and threw them on those.
I'm gonna flip my shit if I end up going more into this article and find out that he did it through like a table.
Okay, yeah, through a glass table.
Yeah, I know. Like we'll end up finding out more details as this goes along. That was just a breaking story that I wanted to bring up, but you guys,
a heartbreaking story.
Don't try wrestling at home, for the love of God. With everything going on streaming, with our next topic here on the Mark and Andre Show, the only film entertainment conspiracy theory podcast on Spreaker.com, episode 69. Insert provocative show title here. So real quick with, and this is something I wanted to bring up with us here on the Mark and Andre Show. With everything going to streaming, what do you think is going to happen with cable in the next 10 years? I briefly want to go into this. Everything has to go through a tablet. I mean, you're going to have your internet service being streamed right to your television, and cable cutting, as it's going on now, it's going
to be X'd out.
Obsolete.
It's going to be obsolete. It is an old technology that they're still trying to keep alive, and the cable companies are trying to figure out what to do, like big oil.
Yeah.
So the cable companies have been trying some desperate stuff to keep things running in their direction. The reality is, cable is going to still be around. It's our older generations that we need to work on.
Yeah.
I don't know why "We Need to Work On" came out. It sounds like a dictatorship, like I want to kill old people. But I'm not saying that. I'm just explaining that the older generations are going to hold everything back. So until they move forward, like if cable won't go anywhere until the older people...
You realize when you say move forward, you'd like move forward into the afterlife.
Right.
I like how delicate you put that.
Because they got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And once we get past this generation...
Adaptation with stubborn older gentlemen and women doesn't go hand in hand with adaptation.
It doesn't. And I feel like once that generation gets... Because the money's still flowing. It's not nearly as much, but the money's still rotating. But at one point or another, cable will be X'd out, but it won't be because of the companies themselves. It'll be because the market disappears. Yeah. Like VCRs. We held on to VCRs as long as we possibly could. And they're gone. They're not even... That's hilarious. Even DVDs. I mean, I'm sure you don't hear people saying on DVD. You're hearing Blu-ray. Because DVDs are in that process of being removed.
Talking about 4K now.
4K or X-ray. Whatever is coming next. So it's just, we have a number of technologies being developed, but it's the end. Like the head is growing, but the tail is slowing everything down. So cable's going to stick around. Even though everything is going wireless, there's really not much of a reason for cable, period. Even satellite. This isn't doing anything for anybody. We're all streaming.
Just probably for your source of internet, it's going to be the only thing of cable, really.
Right. And you see YouTube has YouTube TV, which is basically cable trying to team up with YouTube because that's what it is. As far as the marketing, because the truth is television is really primarily here for advertising. It's not the shows, guys. Yeah. It's not. TV doesn't exist for the shows. TV exists for advertisements. Every show you watch has advertisements within the show, and then there's advertisements between the shows. And depending on what you're like, I watch Survivor with my mom now because that's the only way I spend time with her. I don't like the show. But on Survivor, within the show Survivor, they'll literally do, I'm just so thirsty. We need something to drink. And then they play a game and they go, your reward for winning this match will be drinks. And it's just this giant box that says 7-Up on it. They open it up and it's full of 7-Up bottles with the perfect design. Dew and all. Yeah, it's got the dew dripping down the sides. They have all these angles panning in and out of it. Yeah. There's a point in the show where I guess the survivors' family members get to show up. They literally have to open a Nokia box. But it looks like the Mayans put it together, or what the villagers of the island had made this Nokia box or some shit, right? Not Nokia, but what was it? Sprint.
Yeah.
It looks like it was made by the inhabitants of the island, and it has fucking Sprint on it or
Just
whatever.
the logo.
And then they open it up, and there's a fucking like brand new phone, and they watch the videos of their family members saying, "Oh, we miss you" on this brand new
gosh.
phone, with all the angles showing the details of the phone. It'll even get to the point where the people in the show will say something like, "Oh, thank God for 7-Up." Like, that's an advertisement. Thank God for 7-Up. And then they'll drink it or whatever. Oh, thank God that Sprint was able to let me see my family. They'll say that shit.
WWE actually started doing that too. Like, Dolph Ziggler ended up starting to dress like the Colonel from KFC. And he would fight a chicken
Yeah. That's
throughout some of the matches. And I'm like,
subliminal advertising.
Jesus.
But anyway, the whole point I was trying to get at,
Yeah.
not to go on a rant about it.
of course.
Television's whole purpose is advertising, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, if you watch, like if we go downstairs right now and watch the basketball game or whatever, when the commercial comes on, you're going to go on your phone. So the marketing is fucked. Marketing is losing out in every direction on cable. So they're going to move to wherever they're watched or seen. That's why if you go on Twitter now, you get sponsored ad out of nowhere. If you're on Instagram, you got all your friends' pictures, and then
Sponsored.
who took a picture that well of a pizza? Oh, fucking Papa John's. You got
Papa
me.
John's got me.
That's a really good shot of a pizza. It's Papa John's. So
You're
Facebook as
never
well.
going to escape those advertisements.
No,
Either I
you're
hate
not.
reading
And-
an article and then you see like a Jeep Grand Cherokee come out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
like
I'm
what?
holy
He drives
shit.
by. Get off my
It
fucking
drives
shit.
into my fucking house. It's that immersive now. But
The advertisers
it's
come to you.
surprising, man. It's like big time.
With the advancement of technology, it is fucking up old technology. So
Yeah.
cable isn't effective. The only existence it has is for ads. That's why if you see, nowadays cable commercials and satellite commercials are kind of geared towards older people, because those are the only ones watching TV. They know we and every group after us and every generation after us, they're fucking around online.
Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy is still popping.
Right. That's
Because of that.
And that's how it works. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, streaming, because I'm sorry, I'm speaking more on YouTube, which is technically still streaming.
Yeah.
Netflix, though, you're talking more about the Netflix, the Hulus, and the Voodoos. They are basically, first of all, they're fucking up how we consume media, right? Because
Yeah.
Netflix binging is now the standard of viewing.
I'd like to think so.
Nobody's naturally going to hold their... First of all, I won't go that deep.
No, you're saying briefly like a whole network exclusive show like
Yeah.
Red Oaks from
Right.
Amazon.
Right.
I'd like to bring them in for shameless promotions. Good show. I fucking peeled through that whole thing because the shows are 20 to 30 minutes long. Okay,
Right.
a day off, perfect.
Right.
You handle a whole season.
Right.
I polished through a whole season of that.
Yes.
It's just, but it's designed like that because, well, you have this other option to keep watching, and then there's going to be adverts in the
Yes.
middle of every single one of those things.
Yes.
They get you like that, man.
Right.
Beautiful.
With Netflix, we're safe because there's no ads. So the identity of Netflix basically means we're not selling out. And for some reason, Netflix is making more money than I understand, because it's like, does the whole world have Netflix yet? That's why I'm confused, because I'm like, you guys should have maxed out a while ago. But they seem to be making more than they're worth. I think it's because of the other service, the mail-in. Remember, they still mail in shit to you too.
I hope they don't do that.
They still do
anymore.
it because there's certain seasons and shows that they hold out for.
There's people in their 40s that still do that now.
I guess
It's
so,
like
man. But
40s and 50s, like, yeah, I gotta mail in my Netflix movies, my Netflix DVDs, my DVDs, my Cheers DVDs. I don't blame them either, but that's still, I'm still surprised they do that.
right, but I mean, they still do that. But what has Netflix and Netflix is the only thing without advertisements, so their focus is more on the media. That's why you get all these really interesting shows, and they're all designed. Like if you watch House of Cards or any Netflix exclusive, Stranger Things,
Yeah.
they're designed like films almost, because they almost know your tolerance. Like if you've noticed a Netflix show, if a specifically designed Netflix show, they're almost the exact amount of time that a person can tolerate before they like get a headache.
And they're a lot more linear.
Right.
And they don't give you that recap like
Right.
for
Last
the-
episode.
For the people that our target demographic would be, remember on the animated X-Men, previously on X-Men,
Right,
you
right.
get what, a 15-second recap for your mind to like, okay,
give me
here's the key
running again,
scenes,
yeah.
and then I'm back up to speed. No,
They
as
know.
soon as that ends,
they almost continue exactly where they left off.
It's super linear now.
You shot me, you son of a bitch, and then the credits roll, and then the next thing you see
Yeah.
is I'm still shot, you son of a bitch, and then they keep going. So
Thanks for joining us. I'm
I'm
still shot.
You know, so when it comes to Netflix, though, I guess the thing I'm really trying to run in is it's affected the way cable and satellite works because now people are not even willing to wait for the next episode of their favorite show.
Yeah.
People are really at this point going, I'll just wait till that season ends and then binge it when they put it on Netflix or Hulu or whatever service has it. My mom uses Hulu. I'm a Netflix guy. She's Hulu. On Hulu, when I'm watching Survivor with her, it's like, fuck, there's so many commercials. And the commercials are so jarring. It's so jarring, but here's the thing that they have an advantage on.
Yeah.
Their advertisements can be specific to you now because Hulu is connected to your internet base. The internet base is feeding it what you've been watching.
Search history.
Yeah, so it knows exactly what you've been interested in, so the ads are 100% what you want to see. So I'll watch, Netflix with mom, and, she's watching all these Stella got her groove back type of things and all this extra shit. And we'll be watching, and they'll run an ad perfect for her.
Yeah.
Like that she'll like, oh, I want to see that. Like, oh, wow, that was perfect. It worked out. But damn, the commercials are so plentiful because they know you're not going to walk away and you can't fast forward. So, that's another thing. Cable and TV tried to catch up with the internet by allowing you to stop television, rewind it, and all that. But they fucked up because now you just save your show and fast forward through the commercials.
Yeah.
It's ruining everything.
This, I remember one show that was probably ahead of the game, and my grandma used to watch the show on Saturdays called Sábado Gigante, and this show actually would have commercials inside the show, like after like a game segment. It was like a game show where you have games and prizes and stuff, and there'd be one part where they just stop everything and a fine ass girl just comes up and has a thing of Dawn soap. And it's like a mock kitchen and shit. And like the host is there. It's like, oh, so I see you're using Dove soap. It's like, of course, how am I supposed to clean these dirty dishes without Dove soap? So, but the thing is that they capitalized on that because with the commercials within the show, you weren't going anywhere because
you're still immersed in the show.
After this commercial's done, it's going to be back to Sábado Gigante.
Yes.
So I think Sábado Gigante had a big blueprint because now all like the Mexican soap operas they have like the main protagonist working for Ford,
right?
Or if it's a lady, she's working for like Avon or Mary Kay,
right?
And that's just all the main advertiser throughout the show. And that's crazy. Like that's another step to where you could just skip advertisers entirely and just have. Oh, this is the Mark and Andre show where Mark works for fucking Pepsi and Andre works for Coca-Cola.
Yes.
And we just wear uniforms all day.
Subliminal advertising. Oh, sorry. So I said Netflix doesn't have commercials. It does, but within the shows. So a Netflix exclusive show, you're going to see more subliminal advertising than anything. So watch Stranger Things again. It's all subliminal 80s advertising.
I've heard, they were doing Goonies. I've heard Star Wars, Dungeons and Dragons a bunch of times.
And you think, they're just referencing it. No, it's an advertisement for you to get the DVD or Blu-ray of it. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying this to be afraid of it or whatever. That's just how business works, Netflix gets paid. If an advertiser goes, we're Coke, and we love what you guys do. We have similar colors. We have the same scheme going. Yeah. Just put our adverts throughout Stranger Things, and we'll give you $50 million.
The guy from the Cable Guy, remember his monologue where he was saying all that stuff? Everything was going to be connected through the internet superhighway.
Yep, and that's true. They called it.
Listen to that verbatim, and this is exactly how where we're at now.
Right. So I guess to stay on point.
Shout out to the Cable Guy.
To stay on point, streaming is slowly taking out cable and satellite, but what's going to keep those present are the older generations and live television. So sports.
10 years, what do you see cable at?
Gone. Because, at this point, I think they've been practicing, even on YouTube right now, like the last Coachella, they had it all filmed. They streamed it all live.
On YouTube, they did.
So I was like, I can enjoy the experience here. And the sound was perfect. Everything was great.
Yeah, have a tent in the backyard and make it hot.
Exactly.
You're there.
I think even the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, they didn't stream the Super Bowl, but they streamed all the commercials as they ran live.
Yeah.
So I'm sure at one point or another, NFL is just going to bite the bullet, make a deal with some kind of streaming service, and just run the Super Bowl that way.
I'm thinking they're going to start to the last ditch effort, and this is going to be the next 10 years. The last ditch effort for cable is going to have cable exclusive programming.
Yeah, but that's
exactly. But that's the thing. The only thing that they're going to keep you reeled in with.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to move. They're going to move like the hottest thing on Netflix, and they're going to move it back to cable. You're going to see Comcast buy out like a production studio and have like the Universal channel.
Yeah,
and just have it on cable as a last ditch effort.
I could see that. That actually, yeah, that would be
to only survive for a little bit until it's just done.
That'd be an awesome alternative.
Yeah,
man.
that's
but
like
that shit. That shit ain't gonna work. Yeah. They might be desperate, but then at the same time, it will be more so cable hooking up with another business or cable hooking up with another entity on the internet and forming from there. There might even be a cable streaming service instead of, but I don't know. We don't know yet.
For the record, cable and satellite we're just saying quickly to reference cable, but cable and satellite do share the same hand.
Yeah, they're in the same realm, and streaming is whooping both of their asses. It's changing the way that we do remember, television is designed for adverts, not for the entertainment of the people. Mm-hmm. So when the adverts stop getting, they start losing attention on the adverts, that's when you guys started seeing commercials on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then even the landscape of YouTube changed the way that we digest media. So it's to the point now where commercials literally are trying to squeeze as much information as possible in 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, yeah, certain adverts can go for about 30 to 1 minute, but then there's skippable ads too. So you wait 5 seconds and you click past it. And then there are just specifically 5-second ads. Sorry, guys, I'm the YouTube guy, so I know all the shit. So what's happening now is advertisers are they'll give you a full 1 minute, 30-second advertisement, but they're going to squeeze as much information as they can before that 5-second mark. That's why if you see trailers, lately, if you've noticed, they put as many explosions in the beginning of like all the action moments. So if it's like an action flick, you're going to see, you killed my dad! And then what are you going to do from that point? You saw all that Right, you saw all that awesome shit in 4 seconds. Nice. What are you going to do? And most of the time, people might sit around and watch. There's even adverts that I saw that I laughed at because it was this one guy was like, hold on, wait. Before you skip, I paid a lot of money to do this. So, and then by the time he said that, I'm skipping him. So you got to know what you're doing. I paid a lot of money to put myself in this position, and I want to tell you, skip. I don't give a fuck. Like,
it's funny that we're starting to say adverts now, and that's usually a European tone of phrase.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, but the only reason I'm doing that is because we're actually appealing to the majority of our audience.
Oh, hell yeah.
The majority of our audience is out actually in Portugal, Spain, so we're gonna slowly start moving this show into just German and Spanish.
Yeah, that's what
I've been
practicing up on my German. He's going to speak Spanish, I'm going to speak German, and we're just going to run it back and forth.
The other thing I wanted to get to here on the Mark and Andre show, before we get into that, I'm going to decide to take a quick break here on the Mark and Andre show to then talk about the next thing that we're going to be talking about. So here's Neglected Intelligence by yours truly, Mark and Andre. We actually had a short-lived rap career. We can still come back whenever we want, but Neglected Intelligence. And for the people that said that me and Andre never rapped, this is the proof. Here on the Mark and Andre show.
Old ass song.
As the universe grows, this song is made in intervals and prove that the lyrical is way beyond the mystical. For millennia, I was told to never write this. Now no one is left to disprove my hypothesis. What I drop by law includes a force of gravity mixed in with the Beethoven Beethoven kind of masterpiece. I kept inside the thoughts of an elder kind. Punzi and I, we technically welded minds. We need no praise, acclaim, or accolades, cause through Christ's blood we were proudly remade. This was made before slave and caveman days, before the earth's crust and land was taking shape. These lyrics were laid in plates of titanium and buried under Dracula's grave in Transylvania. Styles like this, sadly, were never seen again until Punty and I released a dope CD disc. Throughout time, we disproved many oracles and got mass amounts of metaphors in store for you. Rappers nowadays straight away from the rhyming. Luckily me and Punzi came in with perfect timing. We down to wordplay with the true spirit of lyrics. No need to curse now, we got words that better fitted. Not to mention vernacular with the perfect image. Yours is not like the face of Rocky Dennis. No one comes close when I got my Cosby on. Even when Megatron had the Necronomicon. We hope and strive to be the new version of Tribe. Old school, I wrote this when Jordan wore the 45.
When he wore the 45. We're intelligent rappers, so I'ma let y'all know how I do it, alright? It's your boy Punzi. Or rather your friend, yo. Vocabulary perfectionist who are sick of the pestilence, taking over the radio and neglecting intelligence, lacking elegance, relevance, and especially prevalence. Now I'm seeing the decadence of musical excellence. I'll adjust your position, place you in juxtaposition besides me, then you'll see that you suck with the writtens. I must abrogate all inadequate artists who fabricate and eradicate half the face that saturate rap today. Honestly, your cacophony just bothers me. Your quality and quantity and artistry is awful. See, I won't commiserate when I obliterate a middleweight. Now I'll alliterate and illustrate how I innovate. I surmise some songs think significantly. Stupefied, so I scribe, start spitting some schemes. Sudden superstar status, some solemnly say I'm sick. Surpassing sorry suckers, such a sought after Satan. Yeah. And that's it, y'all. Yo, me and Marky F, we're hardly stressed, cause we are the best.
Man, that was really... That's pretty insane, man. Like, it's crazy how you listen to yourself rap back in the day, and then you're like, well, maybe I can get back at that. Maybe I can do it again.
Maybe I can go, you know.
Just
drop one last Mark and Andre.
The Mark and Andre show, the mixtape. Yo, we talk about podcasts and the rhyming. Just start rhyming on that.
I'll start palming your mom's ass while we talk on a podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 69 of the Mark and Andre show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe the Mark and Andre show, and just hit the follow button, whether you're on Spreaker or whether you're on iHeartRadio. The Mark and Andre show is available on so many avenues that you'll be able to see it on one avenue there. The next thing I want to talk about, and this is a favor from my friend Kevin, who I call AKA Tex. He was a good friend of mine when I was working over at Solar City. Okay. And this guy's, I can talk about Kevin all day, man. Tex was a hell of a worker. When I used to have like run things on the roof,
top dude.
The guy would only say yes sir, no sir, and that's how I usually want it. There's no complaining. Mm-hmm. I've had employees that would complain all day and not do shit. And Kevin,
he was a man.
Tex is freaking dope, dude. And he asked me to do this for him. He only asked me to sign the petition, but then I just told him that I was just going to do it one further and ask the people of the Mark and Andre show to help. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to read the exact dialogue that he has from change.org. And I just want to let you guys know is that if you guys are sensitive to graphic things, you guys don't have to tune into this, but for those that want to make a difference for my friend Kevin, you guys are more than welcome to listen in. He wants us to help pass a law that requires websites to remove self-harm videos. My name is Kevin. I'm starting this petition because on February 8th, 2017, I woke up to the most horrific screaming sound in my life. I walked downstairs to find my mother and 16-year-old brother, had kicked in the barricaded door to my 25-year-old brother's room to find him hanging in his closet. My 16-year-old brother cut him down while my mother was frantically screaming on the phone with 911. Our neighbor, who was an off-duty EMT, heard her screaming and came running inside downstairs and immediately started CPR. After a few minutes and the run to our house, he had to catch his breath and asked my 16-year-old brother to continue with the CPR. When my mom realized he wasn't going to come to, she begged the EMT to stop having my baby brother do the CPR. Once everything was handled, he went through the history on his phone. Once everything was handled, we went through the history on his phone to find out he had been searching ways to self-terminate on YouTube. After doing further investigations, to my amazement, law enforcement does not have the authority to have these type of videos removed from the internet. I feel that there should be some type of law giving them that authority, not only so that my brother Caitlin Nicole Davis and many other lives that have been lost due to suicide are not gone in vain. Not to mention any other young person having these thoughts being able to have access to the ways to do it so easily. Thank you for your time and understanding the importance of this matter. And that's really tough to get through, man, because I have brothers myself, dude, and having that run across your mind like, well, the possibility is out there for someone to actually want to do that, you know, and one thing that could prevent him to do that is finding the ways to do it.
Right.
And for anyone that wants to help make a difference, go to change.org and look up help pass law that requires websites to remove self-harm videos.
Can you repeat that?
Go to change.org and look up help pass law that requires websites to remove self-harm videos.
I didn't even know that there were videos that allowed that. Or that was possible.
The link that he gave me still had the active site to where his brother got that information from.
Wow.
And it's just sad to hear that. And I know you heard this already, Tex, but you have my deepest condolences. I'm sorry to have known that your older brother took away his life, and I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm here to help. So feel free, the audience of the Mark and Andre Show, please go to change.org and help him sign that petition. He only needs 100 more signatures to make it, to bring it to the people's attention. So if you guys can help him on that end, that would help. In turn, that would help me a lot, because I'm here to help as many friends as I can through the many things through the many avenues of which I can do it.
Right. And this was a video that was pulled up not on YouTube but somewhere else.
It was from the link that he had. It was YouTube.
Wow. Okay.
So it
wasn't.
There's
even
still
like
an active video of a how-to or something of that nature. I didn't want to click on it because I'm not really, that just stuff doesn't sit well with me. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention of the Mark and Andre Show.
That's
it's unfortunate, man.
That's very
brutal.
But
I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Mark and Andre Show. The only thing I want to get across here is that you just be aware. I don't know. There's more awareness that needs to come with when people need attention before they end up trying to commit suicide. Just try to look for all the warning signs. I don't know them offhand, but I mean, there's certainly attention grabbers that can help you dissuade someone from doing that. Try your best on that end. It's hard to have a closing note on this, Andre, because it's just something.
The best thing to say is to be aware.
Yes, exactly.
I personally, sometimes they say look for symptoms or any type of thing of that nature. The hard part about that statement is that you would be surprised.
Yep, exactly.
You would be surprised because usually it's the one that's helping the most people. It's somebody that's actually radiant and interesting and fun, you know? Somebody that will come through and kick it with you and you'll have a great time and not have a clue. I dealt with a similar suicide in college. And seriously, the night he did it, we all hung out and had a great time. There was no feeling that anything of that nature was going to take place. No. Not even a glimpse. We were having a good time. It wasn't like he called us out to have a special one night, like that last night or something.
Yes.
He was just kicking it like a normal night. We had no clue. He didn't act suspicious. He was fine. He was with his girl. We were all having a good time. We were all laughing. Next morning, my roommate comes in crying. I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Kelvin killed himself." What? Like, how? So, it's one of those things. Just sometimes you almost have to just ask. I don't know. Like, it's weird. It's really weird, but it's one of those things that if a person is on that road, right, it would help if we didn't have a bunch of people giving them access to fucking committing to an act like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that would certainly help a lot, and it'd probably get them to ask for help, to ask for help from someone instead of going that other route.
Right.
Yeah. Andre, would you like to do some promotion on your
How do we
end?
follow up with promotion?
If you want to, that's why I left the option out for you.
You guys know, man. Lyricology 101, youtube.com/Andre Gainer. That's youtube.com/ANDREGAINER. Look out for a breakdown, hopefully by the end of this weekend. I had to make a completely new one, so it's still going to be a Kendrick Lamar breakdown. And if you don't know what the breakdowns are, it's just I take a popular song and I dissect the lyrics down to a science. I explain the rhyme schemes, the meaning behind the lyrics, why they wrote it that way, how you could write it that way, etc., etc. So check it out if you guys are interested. I know there's a lot of Eminem fans in the world. Check out my Eminem breakdowns. And that'll be all, guys. Thank you so much.
I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another great episode of the Mark and Andre Show. This has been episode 69. Insert provocative show title here.
Because it's like sex. Yeah.